How are we looking? Can everybody see?
Gotcha.
Amazing. Okay, well, first of all, I just want to say that I'm so excited to do this project. Thank you everybody who is here and listening, paying attention to these different incredible pitches from everybody. I'm excited to be finishing it off, but I'm just going to go ahead and get started. I just want to say thank you. But so basically, we are the customer team. There are 6 of us. 3 of us are in Columbia now, and 3 of us are actually remote, which is great. A great resource for us to have. So basically, our entire goal is to just identify and understand the current attendees, not only to the West Columbian artesian market, but also to some similar markets that might have a similar target audience. So basically, we're going to be using qualitative and quantitative data collection to gather this understanding and hopefully use this information to guide our strategies to hopefully increase attendance and profits for these vendors. So why are we here? We want to generate a better understanding of the customers that are currently coming to the market. We want to identify the target audience that we should be reaching out to. And we also want to increase the awareness of the West Columbia market, increase the foot traffic, which hopefully will come with increasing the awareness, and also increase the profit for those vendors. So as a team, we've come up with a couple of goals. First and foremost, we want to discover the current target audience that we should be reaching out to. We also want to understand the people that are currently coming to the market, the West Columbia artesian market, and understand the potential customers that might be willing to come to the market if we were able to reach out to them, and discover strategies on how to broaden this consumer base and increase awareness. So we're doing this because we really just want to provide an understanding of how to attract a greater consumer base, which will come with a better understanding of the consumer. It'll help vendors alter their sales to hopefully increase those profits. It'll reveal whether or not there actually is a lack of awareness or if there are other things that are preventing this traffic. And then also hopefully we'll understand, what can attract more customers and meet customer needs as soon as they get to the market. So some theories that we're using as well, approaching this, the theory of reasoned action, understanding that, pre-existing attitudes and decision-making plays a huge part in what people buy. And then also the Hawkins-Stern impulse buying theory. Basically, people come with an intention to purchase one thing, and then, it's like the Walmart effect. You see one thing and you buy a million more. Okay, so first visit impressions, we had a couple of first visits already before we even got to this pitch, but basically we noticed there was a little bit of a lack of a concrete flow. There were a few booths, people were browsing instead of buying, and they weren't staying a very long time as well. And so also we kind of gathered some assumptions that we're going to address throughout our research, but basically we kind of assumed that the current audience that is going to the Columbia market is primarily from West Columbia. They have higher levels of disposable income, which they can use for buying gifts and things like that. And we're also understanding that they've probably heard of the market from word of mouth and don't typically spend a long time there and don't typically make a lot of purchases. So in order to figure all this out, we have a couple of research tasks. The first one is understanding the mindset of the current target audience, and then also understanding the mindset of people who are going to the West Columbia market already. And we're going to do this through informal interviews and surveys at both the Soda City market, the farmers market, other local markets, as well as the West Columbia market. So the surveys and interviews are going to be created by all of us, and it's going to be just a collection of questions ranging from customer demographics to expectations. And we're going to go to all these markets, distribute these surveys and interviews, and get feedback and hopefully provide incentive through candy and water. And then this will hopefully give us a better understanding of why people are visiting local markets and why they're visiting the artesian market to begin with. I've included some examples as well. So this is kind of our timeline a little bit. Basically, we've already started, but we're hoping to visit the market every Saturday as much as we can in the local markets as well. Okay, so our first team is the survey and interview template team. So this is everybody. We're all going to contribute questions, basically brainstorm a variety of questions, and then kind of narrow it down from there so that we're ensuring that all the questions we ask are similar across the board so we can compare the data, and then also make sure that we're really reaching on things, hitting the things that we really want to address. The second team is our research team at Soda City. So Sydney is going to be leading this team, and she's going to go and do the surveys, the informal interviews, just by approaching people and offering incentives for participating. And this will hopefully help us understand more about similar markets and why people are going to them. See if we can kind of use that information towards the West Columbia Artesian market. I'm going to be leading the second team, which is where I visit the other local markets and do the same exact thing. Surveys, informal interviews, offer incentives, hopefully encourage participation, and ask very similar questions. The last team for research is going to be led by Katie, where she's going to go to the West Columbia Artesian market and understand the current attendees of the market through, once again, those surveys, informal interviews, and she'll be offering incentives for participation as well. So we can hopefully better understand the current attendees at the West Columbia Artesian market. And then, of course, we have our 3 remote superstars that are going to be doing a lot of our data analysis and data management. And they are basically going to be compiling and visualizing all of this data for us so that we can better understand the trends and the data that we collect throughout visiting all these markets. So the resources we have are, we listed 2 just off the top of our head, but there are many markets around that have similar goods, price points, and audiences that we can utilize to understand the local markets and the potential target audience. We have 3 individuals here in West Columbia and also 3 remote individuals. The ones here are able to visit the markets, and then the ones that are remote are able to do more of our techie stuff online. And then we also have a network of people who have not only been to the West Columbia market, but also to other local markets. Of course, we'll need a ton of time to create these surveys and interviews and also conduct the interviews and analyze the data. And then we'll need a variety of softwares to compile and visualize this data and create the surveys. Of course, some obstacles that we need to consider: inclement weather, small sample sizes, unwillingness. We've considered these and we are prepared to approach them. And then hopefully by the end of this, we will have a comprehensive understanding of not only the mindset, habits, and the trends, but also the expectations of current market attendees and hopefully the attendees that will visit the market in the future. Yeah, okay, and that's everything. If you guys have any questions, we would love to answer them.